Let's be real. Feeling like a disappointment isn't just low self-esteem or overthinking. It's a quiet war, and most people fighting it don't even know where it started. Maybe it was a look from your father that said not enough, or a comment from your mother wrapped in shame. These moments dig deep. This isn't just about failing a test or messing up at work. It's about carrying the weight of someone else's expectations like they were your own. That's not just guilt, it's psychological programming. What if I told you that this feeling, this nagging belief that you're somehow fundamentally flawed, might not be yours to carry? What if it's the echo of childhood trauma, toxic family dynamics, and a cycle of emotional wounds passed down like old furniture? The good news? You can break it. You can unlearn the patterns, heal the inner child, and finally start writing your own story. It's not easy, but it's possible. And today, we'll explore how. From understanding the psychology of shame, to how to stop people pleasing, and even how to rebuild self-worth from the ground up. Stick around. You're not broken. You're just buried under layers that were never yours to begin with. And in the next few minutes, we're going to start peeling them back, one truth at a time. The roots of feeling like a disappointment. It often starts early, before we even understand the meaning of self-worth. A child internalizes a sigh from a parent, a raised eyebrow, or a withdrawn hug as proof that they're not enough. These seemingly small moments stack up into something massive: childhood emotional neglect. It's not always what was said, it's what wasn't. When a child doesn't receive consistent emotional validation, they grow up confusing external validation for love and people-pleasing for connection. Take Mark, for example. Straight A student, star athlete, never heard a "I'm proud of you" unless it came with a condition. Now, as an adult, he burns out chasing approval from bosses, friends, even strangers online. That's not ambition, it's survival. It's the same script, just on a different stage. And many carry this performance into every relationship, bending over backward to avoid disappointing anyone, because somewhere deep inside, they still feel like they already have. And this is where it gets tricky. The inner voice, what psychologists call the inner critic, starts to sound like truth. You're lazy. You'll never be good enough. But whose voice is that really? Parents, teachers, society? The answer matters, because once you start questioning that voice, you begin taking back your identity. And when you do, a door cracks open to something deeper. How shame shapes identity and fuels self-sabotage. Shame isn't just an emotion, it's an identity thief. When someone feels like a disappointment for too long, they stop believing they made mistakes and start believing they are the mistake. That's the core of the psychology of shame. It's sticky, quiet, and relentless. Especially when it stems from parental expectations or family pressure, it creates a deep fracture in how we see ourselves. It says, "You're not just wrong, you are wrong." This is why so many people unknowingly self-sabotage. Take Sarah, for instance. She gets promoted, and suddenly anxiety hits like a wave. Her mind whispers, "You don't deserve this." That's shame playing dress-up as humility. People think they have imposter syndrome when it's really emotional wounds from early invalidation. When your brain is trained to equate success with danger, feeling not good enough becomes your comfort zone, even if it's killing your potential. And honestly, if this is hitting close to home, yeah, you're definitely not alone. I hear this all the time, and I know how badly people need these conversations. So if you're thinking, wow, I wish more people understood this, go ahead and share this with someone who might need it. Maybe even hit that like button so YouTube knows this stuff actually matters. You'd be surprised how often little things like that keep messages like this reaching the people who need them most. Because the next step we're about to unpack, yeah, it's where things really start to shift. The path to self-validation and breaking generational cycles. Eventually, there comes a point where you get tired, not just physically but soul-tired, of chasing approval that never satisfies. That's where the real work begins. Learning how to build self-esteem isn't about daily affirmations pasted on mirrors, though hey, those don't hurt. It's about doing the deep, sometimes uncomfortable work of healing the inner child, the one who's still waiting to feel seen, safe, and loved without conditions. That's where self-validation becomes a daily practice, not a distant goal. For example, start noticing the little wins. Not for claps, not for likes, just for you. Did you say no today when your old self would have said yes out of fear? That's huge. Every time you set a boundary or resist the urge to people please, you're rewriting the script. This is how we begin breaking generational trauma, not in grand gestures, but in small, quiet revolutions. One act of self-acceptance at a time. Of course, the road to emotional healing isn't always a straight line. You'll have days where the old guilt creeps back in, where family pressure makes you question your growth. That's normal. But now, you're aware. You're seeing the patterns, challenging the lies, and choosing differently. And that, my friend, is what personal growth really looks like. Because when you stop trying to prove your worth and start living from it, well, that's when everything changes, and now you're ready to take this even further. You've made it this far, which says something powerful about you. Not everyone's ready to face these truths, let alone reflect on how childhood trauma, toxic family dynamics, and shame from parents shaped their sense of worth. But here you are, still questioning, still digging, still trying. And that's not weakness, that's personal growth in real time. So let me ask you, what if the version of you that you've been hiding, apologizing for, or constantly trying to fix, is the version that deserves to be loved the most? What would your life look like if you stopped chasing external validation and started embracing self-worth psychology on your terms? What if today became the first day of your self-healing journey, not because you're broken, but because you finally realized you're not? If any part of this resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Someone you know is probably battling the same invisible war. Share this video, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we're going deeper into mental health, identity, and how to stop people pleasing in future videos. And turn on notifications so you don't miss the next steps. This journey isn't about perfection, it's about self-acceptance, healing childhood wounds, and finally being free to be you.